Hello? Hello?
Hello! Hello, everyone!
Hello? What's happening? Danny again.
Alex, what's happening?
Episode 2 of the What's Happening podcast. How are we? Before I even get into it, right, I don't give a fuck if you do OnlyFans. I really couldn't care less. If that's how you make your money, go for it. The only reason I'd ever have something to say about it is because I'm jealous that I wouldn't make as much money just standing naked in a mirror video of myself doing the helicopter. But right, it's how touchy people who do OnlyFans are about OnlyFans. Like, you can't even bring it up in a conversation without being like, sex workers, right? Like, I'm all for that. If it's how they're making the money.
Pays the bills and that, I'm with you, but...
You know, it could be worse, it could be unsolicited. People are specific.
Be asking for it.
People are specifically paying for this. Like, here's 20 quid, can I just please see your feet?
Yeah.
Just the toes.
Use
Put heels on. Stand on me. It's like, there's no limit to where you go with it, but this is the only negative side effect I can think of when it comes to OnlyFans, right? Now, we've all been to... Gary, you've been to secondary school? You get a hard time in secondary school.
Yeah.
I remember, right, my dad bought me a satchel for school one year, right, and I'm not even messing, a satchel for school. I went to school thinking, it's just like a backpack, that's how the stroke, there's nothing wrong with it, you know what I mean?
I went to school in Chester, by the way, so that was seen as a bit rough for me. Like,
but like, I thought it's just a bag to put shit in. I put books in it, my PE kit, and then I go home, no one's got to hold it, it's my bag. And I got the pistol hard at me for like 2 weeks, even by my mates, for carrying they used to say I was carrying a laptop bag around school, right? So imagine if, for as little as in some cases, lad, £6 a month, someone had access to videos of your ma fingering herself. That's going to make school so much harder. And as more and more people start doing OnlyFans, it's obviously going to get more popular. It's very accessible already. You click a link and it's, there's someone's bumhole. There's like, £6 a month.
Here's a link.
Thank you.
Well, that's it. You mentioned school. Like, sex in school was a bit of a... Well, I don't have sex in school anymore.
I exclusively only have sex in schools.
No, I embarrassed myself properly. Yeah, I embarrassed myself in... do you do sex education when you were in school or not? Yeah.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, we had a weird teacher. I won't say his name.
I want to clear up, by the way, that I'm not a paedophile.
Yeah, I'm me as well. Just put it out there. And anyway, I was in sex education, and our first lesson, we had to get into groups and that. Yeah. This is off topic, but whatever. Yeah, go. And the teacher went, right, okay, I want to see where everyone's at. Yeah. Let's write down on a piece of paper everything you know about sex education at the moment. Okay. So we were, 10,
Eric's
11.
The best character.
Yeah. Well, I was looking around, and it was like, there was a few like little nerds and that in our class and whatever. So but I was like, yeah, he's right, I know loads. Like, I'm like a horny little 14-year-old going, yeah, I know all the answers here. So I'm there just, like fire coming off my paper. I'm like writing down. I wrote down about 140 things like on this thing. I wrote down like these mad ones I'd found out the week before. So me and my mates like going, I'm going, yeah, I've got them all here. And then
finger in the bench, your fingers break.
And he goes, and then the teacher goes, right, okay, so we're going to read some of them out. Everyone else in the class had like 20. Mm-hmm. Like, the dirtiest is blowjob. Humping, dry humping, all this.
Scroll with
Lad, honestly, I'm sat there panicking. There's 2 people in front of me. I'm going, I'm up here, aren't I? My mate's going, yeah, like, you've got to read this out. So we're like, okay, so it gets around to me. And he went, okay, Alex, how many have you got? This is a genuine story, by the way.
Okay.
And I started just reeling out, like... stuff like the Cleveland steamroller, like
what the fuck,
just shit on the chest and like rub your ass in it. Like, I started naming these thinking I was that funny.
Yeah,
chocolate sock, which was you shit in a sock and hit someone with it. I'm giving out, and the teachers, and the teachers going, okay, Alex, you want to show me what that means? And I'm like, not in front of him, just being like, oh, okay, yeah, you poo in a sock. I'm giving him it all, like everyone else in the class looking at
going in for that meeting.
Nah, they didn't even think. So I'm getting
Alex
through.
Said chocolate sock.
Teachers like that.
Yeah, he's getting tips. Honestly, so I'm still reading them. I'm going
hockey mask.
Yeah. I was like, Mr. Kipling. He was like, yeah, I had to explain what it was, and like Houdini. And I'm giving it all because I'm too deep.
He's a clued up guy.
And then, porn, I think, don't know after it. But and it gets to the end, and I go, I think this is the easiest one. I go fisting, like just like I've said all these horrific ones.
Goes right up.
And he goes, no, not that one. I was like, what? He's like, you can't say fisting. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, sexual assault. I was like, And we had him like, as opposed to what?
Getting slapped by a shitty dog.
I was like,
Shit on the chest by all means.
he'd obviously had
Don't you
problems,
dare
like.
fist them.
He'd obviously had like someone fist him in the past or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like. I don't know what it was. He'd obviously had a few issues.
But what
like,
though, right? How would you sneak up on someone to fist them? like how did they only just realise that when the fist is like, oh my god, that must be a fist.
If anyone watching this knows how to sneak up on someone to fist them,
If anyone's being snuck up on
Sponsor
and
us.
fisted, feel free to come on as a guest and tell us about how you were snuck up on and fisted.
Dad was a ventriloquist, that's what it was. Really.
He did say the Houdini as well. It's
Houdini,
a
that's
talented
that one,
family.
that's
But no, yeah, but like, so back to as we were, like imagine, so like I got the piss took out of me for having a satchel for like 2
Yeah.
weeks. And even after I got rid of the satchel and I just went back to a backpack, people was like, hey, remember your satchel? I was like, I do remember it, you mention it daily. Like,
I think I had a satchel, to be honest, in school. But I think
you lived in Chester though.
well, in it, I think that was like seen as rough.
Yeah, I'm
You know
surprised it
what I mean?
wasn't like suede and I did initials, like
A
gilded
tweed
on it
Jack
with
Wills
gold and that,
satchel.
you know what I mean?
Nah, I
But,
didn't have that, like,
like
I
it's
didn't.
just like imagine, so like say, did you have anything daft? Did anyone take the piss out of you for anything daft in school, or the same with you, Gary?
Yeah.
What like daft little things? Like what was the stupidest one?
I once took my ma's underwear into pee once.
Swapping it for a match attack or something. Have you got that man of the match? Yeah, here's an offer you cannot refuse.
It was an accident, like.
Unwashed.
Yeah. Only fans. I'm ahead of the game.
Smell them.
Nah, that's it was washing, got my pee kit and that, and then when I got into school in front of the in PA in the changes and I threw out my pee kit and I just in the middle of everyone and I was just like, oh no. I know that's definitely come from my bag, and then everyone just bullied me then for a few weeks.
You got in school.
There's always stupid daft stuff,
Yeah,
but,
the daftest shit.
But my ma used to work.
That last one was reasonable. He should have been taken.
Yeah, I'm into that bullying.
I was a barmaid, and our French teacher, Mr. Ramay, was a fucking melter. And he used to do the doors on a weekend and thought he was hard. And he went into like Dickie Lewis, where my ma worked, for like asked for a job. And then he come into school and was like, I work on the doors with your ma, lad. So I just got, Mr. Ramay fingers your ma. That's all I got.
Like, but that's what I
Fair
mean.
enough.
Like that one in all fairness.
That is the fair one, like.
That was a genuine mistake.
Yeah.
He obviously wasn't fingering your mum. I had no choice.
I wouldn't put it past my ma, to be honest.
Well, neither would I. But yeah, who hasn't fingered Gary's mum? But
As a general point, all is all.
That's what I mean. But like to be fair, everyone's ma's being fingered. Like, it is what it is. It's not just your ma, Gary. I've also fingered
This
my
is
ma.
going down,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? But like, no, but like you get the piss to Gary if it's daft shit. So like, imagine when someone goes, "Here's a video of your ma slotting 2 dillies up here." I only had to pay £6, not even a day's dinner money, to see this video of your ma double penetrating herself. So obviously it's not going to be a problem right now because the majority of people who are doing OnlyFans are like between like 18 and like 25. They've not got kids in secondary school yet. I would hope. But
I saw someone there. I saw an article today where some woman said that her son, they've done like a photo shoot and that.
Okay. Where's this
My
going?
screenshot. Yeah, her son is supportive of it because he wants more pocket money. So he's supportive. They've had a photo shoot and that.
See, I wanted more pocket money as a kid. Who didn't want more pocket money as a kid? But if my mum went, right, I'm going to give you more pocket money.
Nah,
but
I
all
can't
it's going to
find it.
take...
Let's get me bat wings out.
I've got to figure myself on camera. I'd be like, no.
To be fair, right, I remember when we were like 13, 14, we had to sleep over at one of the lads' houses, and 2 lads started arguing with each other about whose ma had bigger tits. He's like, lad, my ma got bigger tits than your ma, lad. And I was like, are you messing?
Who's mad did have bigger tits, though?
I think it was Tom's.
Do you know any of these women's Facebooks? I will make the final decision on
Milf
whose man's
Hunter.
got bigger tits. Yeah, it's just mad, though. It's just mad, though. Like, obviously, it's not going to be a problem right now. But imagine in like 10, maybe, oh shit, maybe like 15 years' time, there's 2 kids arguing on the playground and goes, there's a video of your ma with her entire hand in her ass. And I only paid £6 for that.
Your ma's wearing herself as a glove.
Like, bullying's an issue enough as it is.
Yeah, no,
But-
you're not.
That's what I'm saying, lad. You can get a video of someone's future mother, future wife, future anything,
Innit?
getting nailed, getting whatever you want to call it, for as little as like a chicken legend meal. Like
think-
you've got it. Like look, this
Yeah.
my issue is not with OnlyFans, right? If that's what, as I said, if you want to sell pictures of your tits, I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna pay for them.
The accessibility and the backlash, innit?
But that's what I mean. You'd at least, if it was me and I was going, there's a video of me having a wank, I'd be like, it's not just gonna be £6. I'd want to make sure if people were watching me wank, I was at least getting good money for it.
I'd need to pay people to watch me wank, though, you know. I don't reckon anyone's paying me, like, just staying in, just me just going.
But like, it's just mad, like.
Nah, it's like, what comes from it, though, as well, is social media presence as well. And you always come back, get them weird fellas who are...
The ones who are definitely like 73.
But my thing is, though, with them is, they call, like, here we go, a bit deep here, but if you're a fella and you call yourself kinky...
Right. You are one of the weirdest men alive.
But if a bird does it, it means they like a whip every now and again, a bit of a choke, and so you're like, all right, okay, that's not too bad, like scratching, okay, that's sound. If a fella admits to being kinky, then you know they're into like wearing nappies, like getting their balls stamped on for no reason. There's no reason to do it, like.
You just reminded me of something like, this
Everyone
is the
loves a
worst
foot.
thing. This is the worst. Who doesn't? Well, no, but this is the worst thing I've ever seen. So I was seeing a girl once, right, who lived in, I'm not even going to say where she lived, actually, because that's completely inappropriate. But
postcodes and that.
Yeah, this is her exact address and the times in which she isn't in the house. Visit as and when you please. But no, so fucking, I was seeing her for a little bit, and like I used to go down to hers, and we had watched, like she had found like the weirdest telly programs she could find, and we had watched them. And there was this one, I cannot for the life of me remember what it was called. I will try and remember. I'll try and remember, and I'll let you know on the next one, because you are gonna want to watch it if you know it, right? So it was about like the weirdest sexual kinks people had, and it left nothing to the imagination. It left nothing to the imagination either. There's fellas who go to like them dominatrixes and shit like that, and they pay, right? And these fellas are paying, like, some of them like 250 quid a go as well, bear in mind, for these women to get like a chopping board, like a wooden chopping board, get the skin of like the ball bag, right? Leave the balls, just the ball bag, stretch it. So there's two dominatrixes, right? Stretch it, just the skin of your ball bag over this chopping board. Get nails and hammer them through it, and then proceed to stand on it, right? You can't see Gary's face behind the camera, but it's the exact face I was pulling when I first watched it. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. Right, it's the worst thing I've ever seen, and like it was showing you it happening on the thing. There was blood, there was everything. It wasn't.
It's like it's Pain Olympics sort of thing.
No,
remember that?
They do it for genuine pleasure.
Nah, but what pleasure though?
What? I've never had
if I get
nails
scratched,
through the skin of my
ball.
ball.
I'm like, no, like that stops immediately.
I personally
Yeah,
have
people
never.
have different levels, don't they?
Like that's what I mean. Like
Pinch.
I just don't get. But like there's all like there's weird ones you see on Twitter, like you know, on Instagram, all sorts of social media.
Put me in your oven, love, and all that stuff.
Like it's like a bird. Like, oh, look at my new boots, and then there'll be some lad come and kick me in the balls as hard as you can with them. I think, lad, leave, lad, it's only Reeboks, lad. Leave it alone.
Were you at the cinema first, or?
Innit? Like, do you want a bevy first? No, straight to kicking me in the bollocks,
Put
please.
that little boot on right up my ringer.
Right up my sheriff's badge.
I can't think of the name of it, but there's a brothel in Sheffield, right? And there was a documentary about this brothel, right? And the birds in there, they weren't like fucking high class. They were your average fucking. And she was like, oh, one of my regulars are in today. And then like she took this half fella upstairs, and she comes back down to like the reception desk, and she goes in the fridge, and the receptionist goes, what are you doing? She's like, I've got John in, I'm getting the custard. And like she brought tins of custard up, and he'd make her get a bath in custard and wank over it. And I was like, why?
But this is the thing, though. He was an old man as well, right? So that now it's still weird, but you get them people like, you can't shame people for that. So you've half just got to let people get on with it, even though you shouldn't. You've half just got to, because they're like, well, they're not eating anyone. They're just, you know, helping the sales of custard.
I love custard though, innit? That's like.
But yeah, get on this. Imagine him asking a woman to do that in like the 80s, when people were still very rigid.
Imagine it was rice pudding though.
Oh, yeah, he'd be picking out his little wrinkles for weeks, wouldn't he?
Imagine where that'd get though. Like, this is what I mean though. Like, I'm all for it, do what you want, as long as you're not harming anyone. But I still think there's got to be a line drawn. Like when there's either men who are in the 70s going, do us a favour, just sit in that custard, and I'm just going to wank until I ejaculate in the custard, and then of course onto you. When there's old men doing that, and then there's fellas, because these fellas on this one that I watched were like just no fellas you'd walk past in the street and think nothing of, are going to dominatrixes and going, can you wear a pair of stilettos please, put the heel up my ass and put the other half of your foot. down onto me balls. And if you're wondering why I remember this so vividly, it has scarred me very deeply. Like,
Is it the same show where the fellas like shag their own cars and that?
Equally as funny, but just not quite as serious. but yeah, nah, like this one got a bit sinister though. Like there was a one where, so there was a woman on it actually who, she was like a cam girl, like, you know, the ones who do live streams with them, like not quite taking the clobber off, but still. Oh, there's me flap. Oh, did you see that? Oh no, like them ones, right? And there was a woman who went on it with her son.
Part-time, as I call it.
Fellas who just wank
shows it all
only
off,
occasionally. And there was a woman who was on about it. She came on the thing with her son, and his son wouldn't walk the shop with her or nothing because they lived in a little village. And like she's like I'm sure the cameraman were trying to get this kid bullied further, because one clip it'd be his man in this little underwear, seppy and all like sexy in front of the camera, and then the next shot just this kid playing on FIFA looking dead sad. Just. I'm being bullied in school for this. And then it shoots back to his mum and she's there with the cucumber out like that. You know what I mean? It was just like, come here, boys. You know, let him have it a bit easier. Like.
Yeah.
It's just mad, lad. Like, I think we've got to draw a line with shit like that. Like, obviously, if you're in like a relationship and you're doing what you're doing, Sam, no one needs to know. Yeah. But when you're a married man, and you get your wages in and you go, right, so we'll set this amount away for the bills, this one, you know, for the food shop, and this one we'll have a little family out, and this one I need to keep this 200 quid for when a dominatrix puts nails through my scrotum and heels in my ass. That's when you've got to go, right, please go and talk to someone about whatever it was that happened when you were a kid.
Like, get therapy, like...
Proper rough, lad.
It is, like, as you say, each their own, and that, like, OnlyFans is another thing. You're paying the bills, your kids are wearing a nice clobber, and I suppose they've got Xboxes and that, and, you know, I can give it to them, but... For me, I'd never.
I've got an Xbox though on my ass, not getting a bean off for 6 quid. That's you know what I mean. Like,
I can't afford milk at the moment, so I don't think I'm going to end up getting OnlyFans in. Like,
Mum,
yeah, can I borrow 6 quid?
OnlyFans.
Yeah, Kelly on hers done like a different one. Yeah, no, it's in a mirror.
This is one, right? So
Should
my mum,
right?
My mum. I'm obviously not going to say any of these people's names, like my ma's name or this woman's name, right? So, little bit of a story for you here. So my mum used to have she still has, but she's just less vocal with it now. Used to have a proper problem with me having a joint. Yeah. Like, she used to really be against it. It got to the point where I had to actually sit down and have a conversation with her about it, and I was like, look, please actually tell me why it bothers you so much. She gave me the biggest bullshit story I've ever heard. This is what it was, Gary. She goes, bear in mind, she was 45 at the time. 45 years of age. Goes, right, so when I was a kid, I was 15. I had this mate, a lad, who was also 15. Smoked a joint once when we were 15. What I know he did when he was 40. I went, what? She goes, jumped in front of a train.
It sounds like one of them adverts you used to have in America.
You know what I mean? It's like, Kelly smoked one joint, now she's on the street. So I was like, no, like, that's not the reason why. I was saying to her, like, that's clearly down to some very underlying issues. And she's like, no, it's because he smoked weed once. I was like, okay, well.
No, that's it, like, paracetamol.
I'll let you know when I jump in front of a train then, but like this.
You were right, Mum.
It's 25, it's been delayed. For a minute, what are you up to? Spat everywhere. But if I've got a minute, what are you up to before the train comes?
Yeah,
but fucking...
You were right,
yeah, but then my mum was mates with this woman, and she only found out after being mates with her for a few months, but was mates with this woman who was an escort and had a website very openly advertising the services that she provided, and some of them even went as far as, so one of her regulars was a married man who would go to it, and he had this like metal dick sheath where he put his dick in, which had, and I promise you now, if I can find this website, I will show it in the next episode of this podcast. This metal dick sheath, like, had a spike going down the middle of the inside of it, which he would get it to fill with deep heat. You know that cream you put on when you pull the muscle or something? Yeah. Fill with deep heat, and then put on his dick. So he'd have a spike covered in a cream which heats up inside his dick. My mum knew this, right? My mum knew that this woman did this. Had an half a tea and everything, right? So this woman, who's done probably unspeakable things with her mouth, is using the same knife and fork that I'm probably going to use tomorrow. And that's completely fine.
Is she still mating that with you, Mum?
No. No.
She's not around anymore.
She doesn't really come out of a TV,
You just doing turkey dinosaurs or what?
So it's okay for her to have fucking some fella's DNA mixed with deep heat all over her hands, then come round and touch all the cutlery. But I can't have a joint in the garden when you've gone to bed. Like, it's proper
swings
double
around about
standards.
it is double standard. I mean, that is just
Proper double standards.
she was in the kitchen having cups of tea and that, and then
She's there putting dick lips all over the cup that I'm going to use later on that same evening for my brew. And I got all this going out in the garden. And well, you might kill yourself when
you're gonna kill yourself.
Okay, well, I'll bear that in mind. I'll see therapy when I start putting spikes with dick heat on up my dick and paying a woman to do it. Ironically enough, comes down for tea. Wait, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I changed the subject. So paedophilia, right? Right. Oh, we'll change the subject to paedophilia because we were speaking about this before as well.
Yeah, we've had to go with this one as well.
People, right?
Doing all the good subjects today, all the light-hearted ones.
All the best ones. So people...
Got murder and poverty after this one, but that's good.
Yeah, we've got famine coming up next. Ooh. But no, so how long have you got left on this little half, Gary?
You got about 6 minutes left.
More than enough time to cover paedophiles. So, like, people are hypocrites when it comes to paedophilia. Because it was in the news this week, R. Kelly.
R. Kelly, yeah.
What was it that actually happened this week?
He's been convicted of everything. Everything.
Convicted of sex trafficking.
So he's actually getting sent out.
Sex trafficking now, and it's not just he's riddling kids and that in his living room. He's
proper
locking people away, slavery,
he's deep involved with the whole sex trafficking game. Everyone's got a side hustle.
Yeah.
But no, like, so people, as soon as that came out, they were like, R. Kelly's disgusting. You know, he should be sent out, which he should. I'm not disputing that. He's a horrible, he deserves to die in prison. Yeah. But then people still idolise like Elvis and David Bowie. How old was Elvis's wife when you said he married her?
I think he was 16 when he married her.
And then, I'm gonna
in America, that's not right, is it? Well, in England, it's not right, actually. To say.
It's not really right anyway.
It's not legal, though. I mean...
David Bowie.
Get myself out of this one.
Underage.
That's Surviving R. Kelly on Netflix. It talks about, like, other famous people who got with like girls when they were younger, and it's like heavy, like...
Because he married... Was it Aaliyah?
So what happened with him? Have you watched Surviving R. Kelly?
Yeah. I've not really watched it.
Aaliyah was 15, he was sleeping with her, and she got pregnant. So because he found out she was pregnant, he forged documents to make her 18 and married her illegal, so he couldn't get done for charges against her because he was married to her.
Shit. Yeah, I didn't know it went that deep.
Yeah, it's like prisoners and that.
I'm so glad I made paedophilia seem like a light topic now. But yeah, David Bowie had sex with 2 teenagers who were under the age of consent. Now, I'm not saying any paedophile's okay. It's like, you know...
I'm not a massive Bowie fan
like
anyway,
though. Music, it's alright, but...
Remember when fucking Akon did it and then made a song about it?
And then stood up and batty slapped someone on stage and that as well.
I got with some bird in the nightclub, and then, like, turned out she was, like, 15. And he come out and he was like, listen, she was in a nightclub. She had fake ID. I assumed she was 21, and then he brought a song out like, I'm sorry.
I was like, yeah.
This is what I'm saying, it's like, obviously anybody, unless it's in situations like if someone's in a nightclub, you are going to assume they're at least 18, like that's just, or in America, 21. So like, but people are proper hypocrites when it comes to...
Hey, hello, Chris.
I didn't realise I did that out loud, and that was in my head.
People are proper hypocrites when it comes to nonsense though.
Yeah.
It's like, Kelly should rot in prison. But rest in peace, David Bowie.
Yeah, well, I think the idea of convicting in it, I think if Bowie was brought to charges, but if out of the two, I'm listening. I don't know, I think it is the convicted side of things, but I'm with you, I just don't really like Bowie as a general point. So
I thought he was shit anyway, like when he died, I didn't care. I never listened to him. I thought Rocket Man was David Bowie for years, and then when I found out that it wasn't and it was Elton John, I was like, well, I've got no reason to care about David Bowie's death then.
So you got Bowie, Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley.
I don't think Michael Jackson was a pedo, you know. I'm just going to go out.
So you're being a hypocrite against nonsense then?
Well, no, there's a difference, because I don't believe he was a paedophile. And obviously, I didn't know him personally.
Yeah.
Like, I was never molested by anyone, especially not Michael Jackson. But, like, surely, and I know obviously people go, well, yeah, he paid one of them court cases off, right? But let's say, like, Gary, you've got kids.
Where's this going?
Let's say one of them got molested. And the fella who was apparently done the molesting was like, right, yeah, here's 500 grand to shut up and forget that it happened and drop the court case. You're not going to drop that court case, are you?
No.
Because your kid's just being touched up. You're not going to go, but make it 750k and we'll call it quits then.
No, it is.
You know what I mean?
75 quid's mine, not like I'd say that like in the sense of, would you know how much money's on the line here, would you take just a little bit of...
How much would it take for you to forget about your kids getting molested?
Not your kids, you. To say if you were younger now, Michael Jackson out there, I was like, hey, yes,
if it was my kid,
you, kids, nothing in a million years.
I couldn't. Me, I'm skint, so...
70 quid.
50
I
grand.
lost my job.
50 grand, yeah.
If you molested me, you happened to have molested me years ago, which I
So
don't
Uncle
remember.
Tommy, come forward.
Yeah, so Uncle David, we'll call it 500 quid.
Easy, yeah.
It's like it never happened. You know what I mean? We'll listen to a bit of R. Kelly. We'll smooth it over.
The world's greatest. Yeah, it's some rammers though, like.
Ignition's a
It's a
tune.
shame,
I'm
innit?
still gonna listen to Ignition.
Before we run out of time on this section, that's the thing though with R. Kelly, right? It was such common knowledge.
Yeah.
And like at like award ceremonies, like Dave Chappelle or Chris Rock will be like, oh, nice to see Usher in that corner, whatever in that corner. R.
Yeah.
Kelly's got to stay away from the young kids in that corner.
And
And
it
they
was
like
all
made
sound.
jokes
That's
about
what I
it.
mean. Had like fucking, it was common
obviously
knowledge.
hidden,
What was
wasn't
his
it,
name at the big casting? Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Everyone knew about him, but because he was putting everybody in the films that they were getting, no one said nothing. Then
Yeah,
they'd
yeah.
lose their job.
Looking after the pocket, weren't he?
I reckon we start the section on the podcast, starting from the next episode, where we just out pedophiles. It's
Just get them all
like
out
on
there.
this week's
yeah,
episode, my
Real
dad
Little
molested me
baldy
when
head.
I was 5, and then again at 7, and for good luck, 9. Thanks for watching, Dad. Yeah, we're gonna go and take a little break anyway. We're gonna go for a piss and have a little drink. We'll see you again in the
Back
next
it again.
section. See you in a minute. We are back.
Back
with
with
the
a
second
vengeance.
half of the podcast. We're going to go do a little segment that we did last week.
yeah.
I've not got a name for it, but it's just I went to the shop again to get a drink.
Take a break.
Yeah, and we've took pictures of headlines on the likes of Take a Break magazine. There's one called Chat October Special. There's one called there's a fan favourite, The Real People magazine.
Oh yeah, nice.
Which again I'm fairly certain they are not real. So we'll start with the Take a Break. Let's see what we can find on Take a Break. The first one is I forgave my man for kicking me down the stairs. What a mistake.
Was it a mistake, or did he rub on her off the
see,
top stair?
did he take a
Hit
run
him.
up? See, I'm going to go as far as to say, if you're with someone who has been known to kick you down the stairs, and then you go, come on, you can come back,
Get
then
back
you
in.
deserve to be kicked down the fucking stairs. If you can't tell that the fella kicking you down the stairs is bad news, I hope you get kicked down the stairs.
He's either got
very,
loads of
very
info
frequently.
on her, or he's boss of cooking tea. You know what I mean?
He's
Like,
either very funny or minted, because I
Yeah.
couldn't kick my bear down the stairs and get away with it.
I could definitely do it though.
I would. I've not even got a beard. I'm just saying I'd just kick women down the
I
stairs.
have.
I just hate them. But no, we've got Real People magazine again. Elvis saved my son.
Shagged him? No.
Him and David Bowie is
Him and
just sat there
David Bowie.
taking it in its head.
Houdini? No.
Oh yeah, so we've got Elvis saved my son. Shaken, rattled and drowned.
Sounds like a cocktail.
Sounds like by that headline, Elvis did the exact opposite of saving your son. Just wait till the bubbles come up and then just release. Just release.
Jailhouse Rock.
What's this one?
My teddy bear.
Knicker, as in someone stealing knickers. First he stole her pants, and then her partner.
Ooh.
Did
a
he-
man with style.
Did he take enough? How did that trade go? Did he take enough pair of knickers to the point where it was a really valuable amount, and then go, you can have them back, but only in the exchange for your fella? Or did he just steal them, take him with him, fella over one shoulder, knickers over the other, over the back fence?
In the back pocket, a few thongs and that.
Just sniffing out. It was him with his mask. It's like, oh, how did they get there?
He definitely was in your pee lesson.
Never mind, no.
Like,
Sorry,
what other
Mum.
ones have we got? Oh, here we are. Totally nuts. My baby girl was born with a willy. Then her daddy dropped a shock bombshell. That's an actual headline. Says it right there.
Say it again.
My baby girl was born with a willy. So you had a baby boy.
I bet. That is literally it, like, isn't it? That's.
You've given birth to a boy and went, why is this girl
Well,
got
what
a
is
penis?
the news of it though? Why have they gone with that though? Do you know what I mean? It's so stupid.
I just don't understand how, under any circumstance, if I had a baby girl that was born with a willy, or a baby boy, I'd feel the need to write into the Take a Break
Yeah.
magazine, but like, you're going to love this. So I give birth to this little girl, and then I've looked and went, oh my God, why has it got a dick? You sure it wasn't a boy? No, it was definitely a girl that had tits, but it had a dick as well. Like, oh my God, the
Sure it
baby
wasn't
had
one of
tits,
them,
it had
like-
tits and a dick.
Sierra's, whatever she was,
Yeah.
hermaphrodite. or
Well,
whatever.
it might be that, or it might be she's like one of them bodybuilder women with the massive clits and that. You onto them? Like she's been born. Oh, that's a willy shows.
Bodybuilding baby with huge clit.
Just one of them. It's a bit bigger than mine. Some of them clits, like.
I seen this thing, right? And it was I don't know whether it's a side effect of it or whether it was just like she just had one already. But there was a woman who was going through like a transition to like become a man, and she'd been on like them hormone replacements.
Yeah.
And it clittered went into like, it looked like it had a bullet, like it looked like it had a helmet.
Sometimes it does happen
that a
with
side effect of, like, the
testosterone. I
hormones,
think. Well, as an uneducated person on this, I think there's a testosterone thing, because that is why a lot of bodybuilders, female ones, do have similar looking clitori. Is that
like
the plural?
imagine as a bird, you start flicking your bean and it starts flicking your back. You know what I mean?
Little alien, like Men in Black.
Because I know every fucking embryo that's fertilised is a girl. Hence why we all have nipples, because
I've got 4.
There's 3 X chromosomes and 1 Y. So a woman has an XX and a man has an X and Y. So every embryo at the start is a female.
Right.
But isn't, like, I'm sure the clitoris or the penis is one of the next things to develop. And that's why it's either a clitoris or a penis. I think it's the same.
Until it gets to a certain stage and then branches off.
I might be chatting shit.
No, that makes sense. Mine just stood. Mine stood still for a while.
Science was decided.
Mine went, no, I'll catch up to you. Like, I'm asthmatic, and he's like, no, we'll stay at the cliff for like until he's 32 or something.
I'm the same, it's just foreskin just grew.
Nothing to fill it with.
Yeah, just.
They had them sausage factories before they packed them.
No.
Looks like an aardvark.
Yeah, let's see what other headlines we've got here. Got another one from the Take a Break magazine. That's a bit of a mad one. I dug up 5 women and a sordid crime. My fella hid his secret wife in the attic.
What? Hang on a minute. Get to the start of that. So she does
That
what?
takes so many different parts, right? I dug up 5 women and a sordid crime. And then it just jumps into, oh, and by the way, my fella hid his secret wife in the attic.
See, I don't get that, mate. What I don't get is about the burying thing. Like, okay, we're going to get, you know what I mean? If you're going to kill someone, like if you're going to do the crime of killing someone, which I don't think is a good thing to do, by the way, just put it out there.
She dug them up, who killed them?
Yeah, who's killing a body and burying them, though? You eat them and... You have to, don't you? I think that's the rule, like, because if you're going to kill someone, you might as well eat them as well, like.
No, yeah.
Because what's the point in burying? Because the evidence is going to be there.
No, but what I'm saying is why was she digging women up? Went from, I'm assuming, in the middle of a field somewhere. Then ends up in the loft. I was like, who the fuck are you?
Who's in the loft,
Oh,
though?
by the way, I'm married to your husband.
Yeah, a bit of an awkward one,
yeah.
and you just found bodies.
I couldn't keep the lease up on ours, so I've been living in your loft for the last few months.
Just hanging up by a skin.
Yeah. Not a fan of what you've done with the place.
You psychopath.
Let's see what other ones they've got. Oh, yeah. Stabbed to death for falling in love. Revenge tore our family apart.
Oh, that is romantic. That's a poetic
That is-
one. I like that one.
Sorry, stabbed to death for falling in love.
Yeah.
And then it was
Who's wrote the fucking magazine?
I'm coming to you from beyond the grave. But like,
Signing it with blood.
this is what I don't understand. So,
I love
stabbed
you.
to death for falling in love. Revenge tore our family apart. So what I've taken from that is...
Sounds like a Smith song.
It sounds horrendous. So, someone...
Joy Division, innit?
Joy fall in love.
The wombats
Fell
are
in
coming
love,
out with stabbed to death for falling in love. That's a new David Bowie song. She was only 13 and was stabbed to death for falling in love. But like, so someone was stabbed to death for... So, assuming there's been a mum and a dad here, and then the dad has fallen in love with somebody else, which the mum has stabbed them for. It was her revenge that tore the family apart, not the dad having the affair.
Lad, it's just a fucking council estate, Romeo and Juliet.
Exactly what that is, isn't it? It's not the Montagues and the Capulets. It's the Smiths and the Gordons.
I like the way you went with white names then. You could have gone racially ambiguous names.
And
The James and
Yeah, I wasn't gonna want it. Yeah. Bride's confession. I bedded my hubby's best friend.
Get in.
Would it end my marriage?
Get
Would
in.
it not?
That's the story we all came for.
Like imagine on the altar. Oh, before we do get into the vows, you know, your best man there. Hi, Mark.
His willy's well bigger than my clit.
His dick. Does anybody object?
Yeah, me actually.
There's loads on this one. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. Is this the last one? We've got 2 more. We've got 2 more of these.
Okay, let's keep going.
Before we'll then cover paedophiles and murders again.
Famine.
I found love again after my holiday romance gave me HIV.
Oh.
That's a mad headline to start with.
But wait, who did you find? Look, there's just so many questions I want to answer there.
But let's move on from it, lad. There's another one. Teen had her throat slashed by secret sweetheart after final act of kindness. I'm fairly sure if the last thing someone does to you is cut your throat, that is not considered
True
a
love,
final
innit?
act of kindness.
Okay.
Call me old-fashioned.
No, innit? I know. Chivalry's dead. No, it's Chivalry's dead, whatever name is.
Jamie Lee.
Jeez, Jamie Lee's gone.
It's just
Throat.
What is the kind act?
What is the kind act? You've just been halaled by your mate.
It's been halal.
Well, that's what it is, isn't it?
Do you know what that means?
Yeah, no,
It's just, it's blessed and like fucking killed, yeah?
Yeah, but people, you know what people
You
are
can't
like?
mess it.
You know what people
You
are like?
said tranny last week. I can say halal.
I'd say it again. But yeah, oh yeah, this is what I was saying about before. There's going to be racist fellas. I'm not watching that podcast
No, I am doing that again. Do you know what that means? No,
I only
wasn't
watch
saying
non-halal podcasts. Coming over here.
Cancelled.
Stealing our podcast.
Yeah. Getting cancelled, yeah. We're going to have them as my audience, aren't I? Well, in Alex, mate, it was great.
Welcome to the... I'm not even
No,
that. I'm not going to go any further with that.
Britain
Another headline.
Just sponsored by Britain First for the next
this
podcast.
This actually covers a little bit of something we were saying before about like Michael Jackson apparently buying someone's silence. My abuser tried to pay me 40p for my silence.
Cristiano Ronaldo or something like that. And they did similar.
Imagine that. Sorry about the whole molesting thing when you were a kid. So I've got something for you.
Yeah, he must have had 220p's though, innit?
Sit down.
Unless he asked for change.
No, he's classy a percentage with 4 10p's. Like, oh?
Just keep sliding over the table. She wanted a one bar. She said, yeah, 40p because she just wanted a one bar on the way home.
And then, yeah.
All right, just give us a 10.
The picture of the fella's really not doing him any favours either. I'm going to send you all these again to get them on the screen.
It's always the ones you least expect.
It looks like 40p was breaking the bank, is what, you know what I mean? Like his beard's all not being trimmed and that. The moment our son could finally see, like, who gives a fuck, lad? This might make me sound horrible, yeah. I don't care about blind kids. Right? Right? I don't care about them. No, right. Listen. No. I'm going to tell you why.
Thank you.
I'm going to tell you why. So,
sponsorship this week.
I'm meant to wear glasses,
blind
right?
school.
It's just whenever I've got a headband in, I don't wear them because they push the headband proper into my head.
Yeah.
And, so, when I was a kid, I nearly didn't get as lucky as I got. I could very well have been blind, but I'm not. So I don't care if you are.
Yeah, but everyone's like that though, aren't they, I think, in a way?
Like, exactly. Like, it's like... I'm not going to go any further into why I don't care about the blind. Like,
but you're blind. You've got... Well, not blind.
You get a free dog, lad.
Yeah.
If I want to go out and get a golden retriever puppy, that's cost me about 1,500 quid.
Yeah.
You get that for nothing. Weigh up the pros and the cons. Yeah, you can't see.
Yeah, come on, blind people.
You're not missing much anyway.
You're giving everyone's head in.
You get free
get
dogs.
a dog.
And you get free seats at the footy.
But you are paranoid though
you
that people
can
are
get.
always swearing at you. That's my thing. You know, when people ask, would you rather be deaf or blind? I'd always think people just be like, at me face.
I don't know. Don't imagine if you're deaf, you're
holding the buzzer thing
you.
underneath the traffic light thing. Someone just there going.
Someone could be walking next to you if you're deaf, just calling you all sorts, and you never know.
I played footy for the Saturday League team, and we played this team, and they fucking schooled us, right?
Saturday League was a bit better than
Yeah.
Sunday.
And this team we played had 4 deaf players on the team, right? So like,
Man on, you just
well, one of the lads fucking nailed someone, and the referee was shouting to come in. He kept walking away. He's like, "You walk away, I'm gonna fucking take it off." And the captain was like, "He's deaf." So me and him kept going at it, right? And he nailed me, and I got up and I was like, "Lad, nail me one more time. I'm gonna fucking smash your head in your little pick." You know what I mean? 2 minutes later, he come flying through. So I just sparked him, right? So I was like, So they all started trying to attack me. They're like, "Lad, you're our lad. He's got to play for England Disabled tomorrow." And you know what my response was?
England Disabled? Is that a team, is it?
Yeah.
Harry Maguire's still captain as well.
I turned around and I went, "Listen, it's not like he's blind and couldn't see me, is it?"
Braille card. Yeah. Feel what colour that is. Are you sending me off, lad?
They were all trying to fuck me, right? I had my car full I made one of my mates get in the boot so I could take our 7-foot centre iPhone with me so we didn't get me head smashed in, lad. I was scared. They were trying to kill me.
Really,
Just got the variety bus chasing his ass. Lad. Well, we'll move on to the headlines, shall we?
That's the end of us. That's it then. We're
No,
done.
fuck it.
Yeah,
More
I'm not
headlines. I don't care. Talked and stabbed when killer. That's a shit headline. I watched doctors operate on my heart. Not even going any further into that because that's disgusting.
Yeah, that's horrible, that.
I was taking the risks, but it was my hubby's life in danger. See, this is what I mean. Who the fuck's reading these magazines and going, oh my God, please tell me more about how this woman who I've never met husband's in danger because she's taking risks.
Love it though, don't
No
you?
one gives a fuck, lad. Yeah, this is a good one. I fell for a bouncer twice my age after dramatic nightclub showdown. Like, you reckon have you got any idea, love?
Dramatic night
You don't need
showdown.
it. Tits are big enough.
Let's
In
get
you
it.
go.
What's a showdown in a nightclub though? That's interesting. You have a dance
Like
off.
that scene out of American Pie, the wedding. They're going mad. The bouncer's there like, oh my God, I'm twice your age, but this is going to make a very good headline for Take a Break magazine.
The
They're like the only
journalist,
dancings they're doing.
the take a break journalist already in the corner with his
He's there, like,
hat
this
on
is
with a little bit of
fucking
paper.
brilliant. They're going to love this on
There's
that
no
podcast. Right, let's see what other ones we've got. I'm best mates with a B.
I am
even
behind that, you know,
We
I
even
like
go
these,
bowling.
mate.
That one's already been done. There's a whole film about that. The B movie. Think of some new... It's a sick film, but don't
Good
say and
film.
act like you're the first one to do it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
stop
little
lying.
dickhead.
Shoes don't fit if you go bowling, like, would they?
My 5-stone weight gain made me a model. That's a headline, don't hear every day, innit? Like,
5-stone weight gain.
me gaining weight made me good looking. I doubt that. let's not start lying to
push.
me.
Where are you modelling?
Yeah.
Giacomo.
Giacomo,
Like,
like.
imagine that though. Like, this is another thing I want to touch on, right? This might get me in trouble, but it's
That means
something
it's 100% going to get you in trouble, like.
It's something that, like, right, I'm all for body positivity.
I knew you were going to say this, you know. I just
I'm
knew
all
this was
for
coming.
it. I am very positive about bodies. If you're fat, you're fat. If you're skinny, I'm built like a prisoner of war. I am in no position to judge anyone.
Yeah.
But, right, and I forget which comedian it was I was watching the other day touched on this. These models, like plus size models, yeah, okay. But you're getting models now who are like morbidly obese. And it's like, if I can do it, you can do it. I'm like, what have you done? Apart from a lack of things which has led to you being this big. Like, should we really be promoting obesity? Like, if someone's bikini is the same size as my quilt that I sleep under, I don't think we should be promoting that.
It's a tough one, innit, I think.
It
I
is
think
a
it's a
tough
tough one to talk about because you've got, like, people at different sizes. Like, I said in the last podcast, I'm a chubby little bastard. Like, I've all been there, I've all done it. But I'm with you. I don't know whether... I think the idea of promoting people with different bodies is a good thing to do, especially probably with women more so than men, because I think that's more of a feminist problem.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think I'm with you. I think the idea of...
Fatties. Let's not beat around the bush.
I got called obese in the doctors. I've done a stand-up about this. I've spoke
that's
about it
what
a
I
few
mean,
times. And it knocked me for, like... I say it in my jokes, I tried to... I had a day planned after I got called obese, which was going to end with, like, me eating donuts, like, watching films all day and that. And after I got called obese, the woman ruined me day, like.
This is what I'm saying, but like,
Just
and
ruined
I've
it.
got nothing against fat people. I think they've got enough on the plate, leave them alone. But I had to get that in somewhere.
You had to get it in.
But like, there's a difference between being a bit plus size and then being it becoming an illness. And do you know what it was? It was Bill Burr.
Yeah.
He was like, he's like, the people are calling them brave. It's like, no, they're not brave. They're not brave by any means. Like, but they're going on camera. I'm on camera right now.
Yeah.
I'm not being like, I know you're in the army, but do you film a podcast? Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, no, I'm... Like,
nowhere to draw a line with it a little bit. It's
That's us. That's society. I mean, it's a general point.
Yeah,
Human beings don't know when to stop. And like even now with what's going on with fucking all the fuel and that.
it's a nightmare.
Like I reckon some of
that.
them. I don't drive either. I'm 29. Like, but I think it's you'll get people like that are overdoing it as well. They take me home and like.
Yeah, but if you want
I want to make a spaceship or something like that. You know what I mean? It's
like people started buying warehouse amounts of toilet roll, and it's like, there's 3 people live in your house. How often? How many
major
shits
ring
do you reckon
sting.
you're gonna do?
Fucking use your hand and wash it.
I remember,
If
right?
that, don't even wash
I
it.
remember, right? I used to stay in my ex-birds quite a bit, like more so than I'd stay in ours. And when this first lockdown, like back in like 2020, like in the March, after they had been in the shops and that, they'd be coming back and they'd be like, all like the shop and that was like plastic wrapped and stuff. They'd fill a bowl up in the sink with fairy liquid and like disinfectants and they'd wash it. And I'm like, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
If you were going to get coronavirus, you would have got it when you were in the Tesco with another 300 people.
Yeah.
Than off the mince pies that are in a little
Have
plastic
you had it?
packet.
Have you had COVID?
I've not had it.
I still can't smell and taste, mate.
And to be fair, I think I might have done before everybody knew what it was, because I was in bed before like I was proper ill with it.
I thought I had it last the year before the March time. I thought I had it, and then January came, and then I got it.
Yeah.
And as I said, my smell and taste all smells like dead people's breath now. Still, like to this day, like.
I think the one good thing COVID's done, and like I proper don't like old people. Like they just proper entitled. It's like so what? Like you fought in a war.
Racist as well, aren't they? Most of them.
That's what I mean. It's like you know when you walk past old people, and you've got to smile at them, so they don't think that you're some like dreg of society. And it's like, you're going to be dead in like 5 years. Why am I even smiling at you?
You don't even
like,
get a say
away.
anymore.
It's like the one good thing COVID's done is killed off loads of them, lad, because like.
But I said this, right? I said this on my podcast. I said, listen, it's all about fucking growing the economy now. I said, let all the art cunts die. I'm not art. And someone commented, you're a horrible Tory bastard. And I went, hang on a minute, if anything, I'm the fucking opposite. Because the Tories are making us lock down to save the art cunts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Like, do you know who pissed me off loads, lad? Remember that Captain Tom? Right?
Oh, yeah.
What a little knobhead, lad. He used to, listen, lad, he used to piss me off him because, like, I get that he's old and he's been in the war and that, but so what, lad?
Yeah, like, no one else. Like,
so?
I never clapped for him, like, no. You want it?
I got in trouble over that.
Like remember when it was like, remember when they had that thing in the sky in London, and it was loads of drones with lights on, building a big fucking pattern of, what's Captain Tom? Like, go away.
Yeah, well, how much of them drones
walk
cost?
In the garden.
Just do the cladding and, like, the cladding stuff and that.
Like, remember
Stop
when it
putting
was like,
drones in the air.
This is for the nurses, what is it, a pay rise, better work, and I was like, we got a ferry doing drones.
I think with COVID stuff,
stuff
as well, obviously, like, he didn't want anyone to die. Tories messed it all up, really, from the get-go.
Yeah.
But this whole, it's been a mess, like, and I think Liverpool's had a particular weird problem with, not a problem as such, but people not believing in it maybe as much and, like, believing the effects from it.
Remember them marches on the docks?
Oh, lad.
Everyone was like, they're trying to take your liberties.
I got in trouble with that.
You've got a cold.
Yeah, I got in trouble with that.
Go on.
Tweet, like.
Why, what happened with that?
I did a tweet about it, and Paddy the Baddy retweeted it, and then a few others, and then I was the biggest threat to society just from a tweet.
This is what I'm saying.
But they're all mad MMA fighters and that who've all been chinned too much in the little dojos. So they've just what they did was like that's what it was. So they're not you thought.
I was sad my head punched in now.
Yeah. I would just get loads of messages off people being like, "You're this, you're that." Like, I want one of my cousins. Like he'd mess you being like, "That was a funny tweet," but he's dead into like, he's got a boxing gym and that. Like he's Sam. But it is what it is. I only say things as a joke and like whatever, but people
take it too
offended,
serious,
both sides of it. Like
Captain Tom Moore, right?
Yeah.
I had Dean Aldridge on my podcast, right? And I have a section where I say, what are you willing to do for a payout? So I'll ask you something horrible for money. So I said, so Captain Tom Moore was still alive. So I said to Dean, for 10% of what he earned, so at this point he'd raised like 38 mil. I went for 3.8 mil. Would you put a pair of 10-ounce boxing gloves on and smash his head in? Right.
Put 12 ounce.
So Dean went, yeah, of course I would. I went, how did he survive fucking COVID? Dean went, how did he survive the walk in the garden, right? The podcast went out Tuesday morning. Yeah. He died Tuesday afternoon. So I said to Dean,
this takes a very different
we've got a decision to make here.
You keep the podcast.
I said, we take it out if you're uncomfortable. I said, we leave it in. I said, it's 52 minutes in. People who are listening are fucking people who know what it's about. It's a joke. So Dean decided to put on a story saying, my episode of Now Then podcast, there was no maliciousness intended. Everyone fucking jumped on it. I had to take it down.
Really, yeah.
You know what? I would have
get loads of shit from it. That's mad.
I would have just left it up. This is what I'm saying. Like people are so quick to cancel stuff now, aren't they? Like,
It's actually got a name. It's literally called cancel culture now, and it just pisses me off.
It used to be political correctness gone mad on it, but that was, I think that was that was a mad thing, wasn't it? I mean, you used to be able to, in the thing with political correctness is, back in the 70s and that, it was largely accepted that you would say the N-word about describing your neighbour and that. So some political correctness got brought in to make sure that there was like a level where you're not doing that, but then you weren't allowed to sing Bar Bar Black Sheep in school and all that. And then now it's sort of gone back to like, you can sing Bar Bar Black Sheep, but just don't call your neighbour that.
Well, this is what...
And that's what it is. Now it's cancel culture, the same thing. People jump on it so quick.
But it's hypocritical as well, because Captain Tom Moore died and everyone's like, oh, he's a fucking saint. And then Prince Philip died and everyone's putting memes up about him fucking being like, oh, Winkley and everything.
Yeah, like a fantastic would have finished him off or something.
It's funny you should mention hypocritical. Like, remember on the last episode I mentioned about the girl who said I was transphobic for saying the word sang and that. So she messaged me again, like this week just gone, trying to kick off about that whole thing. And I can't even remember how the conversation started. I've not spoken to this girl in like a month. But then she tried to bring it back up. How long have you got left? Just take a look on this. 4 minutes. So she's messaged me again. And like this girl, I met her for the first time when I was doing a stand-up gig. One of Dean's ones in NC Bar. It's last_minute_comedy on Instagram, I think it is. We'll put a little thing on the screen. If you haven't followed it already, go and follow it. He puts comedy nights on all around Liverpool and the North West. They are good nights. You might even see me on one of them. Lucky you. But anyway, so moving on from that. So this girl's messaged me again. Now I met her the first time at a gig, and if you've both seen me do like a stand-up routine, you know what it's like. The humour's a little bit dark in it. So she's sitting there laughing her head off at jokes about Madeleine McCann, the Holocaust, cancer, 9/11, all of these proper horrendous things that have happened.
Great subjects though.
Make for good jokes, lad, because it is a bit touchy. So I think it was like a 10-minute set that I was on. It wasn't that long. She's sitting there, laughed her head off at all of that. Said to me after it, she loved it, but then said the word "Sanny," and that's a hate crime. Yeah. Like, so this is so people. It only becomes an issue for them when it's something which they care about.
That's it with that. That's like, what I mean.
I'm sure there'll be people out there who, if they've seen a video of me doing stand-up, or they've been to a gig where I'm maybe offended by a joke about cancer or the Holocaust.
Well, that's what I'm saying about them MMA fighters messaging me. Was like they would be the ones saying like cancel culture's doing this. Like, oh look, the media's got you. The media got you. But then when it's someone that they think something, then they come at you and they're like, nah, you're wrong here. You little sheeple and all that stuff. It's like, oh.
I think as well, though, the biggest thing that causes most of the grief with that is social media, because you've got to look at it. Say 15 years ago, like, I'm all for trying to be as accepting as possible. If it gives people an easier life, go for it.
Yeah.
I make jokes about shit, but it is a joke.
It is what it is.
But like that's what I'm saying. But nowadays, so say 15 years ago, before Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anything was like about or as big as it is now. If you got like, there's people now who are saying like they're like trans race and shit like that. It's like, no, you're not. You're mentally ill. You are a fucking lunatic. 15 years ago, if somebody was in the street going, I'm trans race, no one would take any notice of them. But now, say that person's got a Twitter account that's got 1,000 followers, not that many, 1,000 followers, and say they've got 10 followers who agree with what they're saying, and each one of them 10 followers has got 1,000 followers. That's then 10,000 people who have now seen that and agree with it, and then it becomes a movement, and then there's a what are they called? You sign them and
petitions and
petition,
that.
Shit wouldn't get that way.
Whoever's, by the way, just that quick on the petition thing. Whoever was the creator of like what's the online petition thing, or GoFundMe even. Like, they must be looking at that now and going, what the fuck have we done here? Exactly. It started as something nice, like, and now, like, why am I signing a petition to make sure Peppa Pig's dad stops oinking before? You know what I mean? It's all like everything. It's everything.
Like the way I look at it, right, is like, obviously there is stuff which nowadays is not acceptable to say. That's tranny being one of those words. But we will move on. But like 15 years ago, you could say much more shit than you can now, and that, I'd say times progressed in some parts for the better. Like, people who were really struggling, I'll be down to time there. People who were really struggling years ago can live more easy now, because there's acceptance made for them, and that's fair enough. But then you get people, for example, who like getting fucking nails hit through the ball bag and stilettos.
We'll go after them, like,
you know what I mean? Then,
psychos,
but then now you bring it up and it's are you trying to shame him for enjoying that? It's like, no, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
That's
he
the
should
same
be locked
thing.
up, like, you know what I mean? It's like there's got to be times when you draw a line.
Yeah,
or,
100% with them ones. Like, putting a hammer over your bollock and that.
you know what I mean? Like, there was a woman on, I think it was either Good Morning Britain or something like that, said she was trans race. A white
What's
woman.
that mean?
So say, for example, I was trans race. I would say I'm an Asian or a black person or something living in a white man's body, which, as we all know, is true. But, like... So
I'm an eighth Nigerian.
Yeah, well, are you actually?
No.
Oh. That's what I mean. I had to check, but I couldn't just make a joke. But no, so this woman, she had, like, tanning injections to make her whole complexion
Yeah, I know
darker.
she is, yeah.
She got her hair permed, got lip fillers, all these, like, little
Fucking
cosmetics.
racist.
It's racist, that's what it is.
It's racist, but you're thinking, like, 20 years ago, if someone was like, I'm transgender, I'm non-binary, I'm this, I'm that, it'd be, no, you're not, fuck off.
Yeah.
Now it's, I'm trans race, no, you're not. What if in 20 years...
Let them in the Olympics.
Yeah. Lad, there's a woman at the minute, a woman, a transgender woman who used to be a man, competing in women's MMA.
She's losing though.
Right.
has lost
Listen,
out.
Joe Rogan's brought this up multiple times, right? Listen, each of their own. If you want to identify as an iron board and sound, right? But contact sports and stuff that draws a line.
Yeah.
Your bone density, your muscle density, you've been a man from the age of fucking 0 right up. Your body is built differently. You have advantages that isn't fair. But like that New Zealand bodybuilder in the Olympics died on her ass and I was made up like because she was a fucking man and then fucking failed.
My to play devil's advocate on this is the MMA fighter has lost a fair few, but no women are coming out about it. Do you know what I mean? The ones that she's actually going to fight, there's no women being like, hang on a minute. It does seem like
if that was your livelihood though, so you're getting paid $15,000 for that fight, you've got no other way of making money. You're not going to come out and go, well, I'm not taking the fight.
But the women who are getting chin though, I like going like, go ahead, let's have it. I'll fight anyone, and then it seems to be like you said, Joe Rogan, like podcast people, fellas or whatever, who have more of a problem with it than that. And I don't know whether. I agree with it. I know. I get the idea of the strength and the bone density and stuff. I just think it's a tricky thing to look at until there's facts in place because she is a woman. Like,
but like, there was one. So I know there's one recently. There was one a couple of years ago who was fucking big, and I mean big, like it just looked like a fella with a wig on. Who was going and punching women's heads in, and I think she fractured the skull of like 2 of her opponents. And it's like, and then so people were like, well, that happens in MMA and boxing anyway. It's like, yeah, but you can minimise the chance of it happening if you haven't got Kimbo Slice having status with women. You know what I mean? You can minimise the risks of it. It's like, it's I don't know, but I don't know where to stand on it.
I think it's a dangerous thing
is
to do, though, isn't it? No, not even the subject, the actual thing. You're talking about dangerous.
Yeah, it is. It's a dangerous thing.
You're talking about human lives, aren't you, and stuff?
It's a dangerous situation to get yourself in. I feel like if, as a man or a woman, you feel like you're the opposite gender, but you still want to compete in sports, the same way you don't have men and women competing against each other in football, boxing, MMA, they've got their own leagues for it. Do it that way as well. So then that way you can still compete under your own gender identity, but you've not got any biological advantages over actual women.
I think the conversation sparks like both sides of it, doesn't it? You get like people, opportunists who jump on it, the same opportunists who jump on like issues with race and stuff. Like one terrorist attack happens, then it's every Muslim on the planet gets persecuted. Same with this sort of thing.
People like your Piers Morgans and
fucking MGMA in it, mixed gender martial arts.
Not a bad sell. You got it.
MGMA, you thought about that so much.
But that would be a supportive way of looking at it.
He's one of them people who jumps on it, isn't he?
Yeah, you are fucking Dana White, or his name is, of the transgender.
Michelle Tyson. But yeah, it's just a mad topic. Like, obviously, if you're transgender and that, cool, power to you, do your thing. But if you've still got the physical aspects of a male, don't go, well, I want to have a fight with that woman there who's 5'4". How tall are you? 6'8". Don't worry about it. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. Gloves on.
Just arm bars.
It's just, I don't know. It's a bit of a touchy subject.
Yeah.
Just like it's got its own heartbeat now. Just.
Little blue veiny number.
It's got like fucking 12 ounce.
And it's a weird one, that, isn't it? It's just a proper, I don't know. Like if you want to compete in sports, obviously you can't say you're transgender, yeah, well, no sports for you. Like,
Yeah.
you gave up your right to sports. But, like, give them their own league to do it in. Like, when women wanted to be professional footballers, at first people were like, you just can't do that. And I said, no, well, they can if they just compete against other women. Like,
Yeah.
make sure there's, like the way in any...
There's
in
got to be
MMA
a whole discussion about it. I think
Yeah.
it's an open. I think it gets closed off the discussion because it feels like you're touching on subjects which might come across as controversial. But I think it's got to be an open discussion to look at it, and it's probably not one that
Well, the thing
I'm
is
going to
with it
get
as
involved
well,
in because I'm a bit clueless on
all
it.
you've got to do is just do it in weight classes like they do in normal MMA.
Yeah.
You don't get heavyweights. Go on. I know physically I'm a heavyweight, but I actually identify as a bantamweight. So this fella, I know I weigh 206 kilograms, but this fella who weighs 135 kilograms is who I'm choosing to fight because I identify as that weight.
Yeah.
Just give them weight classes.
Have you ever hit a woman in the face?
So many times. No, not once. Not once. I actually really haven't hit a woman in the face. I haven't
done it. I haven't done it, have I, love? Love, I haven't done it.
Yeah, I really...
Emma.
I've never
Sarah
hit
from
a
last week,
woman.
the smelly bitch. Have we hit you?
Just get a fucking wash, you fucking fat, smelly cunt. You fat... But like, man, it's
Ooh.
You fucking hit me with your hand.
But like, it's just you've still got a mask on, COVID. No, she just stinks.
She's just a really... Sorry, Sarah.
But yeah. Yeah, but really sorry.
She's not watching. She hasn't got a bath, never mind a telly.
Yeah, if she hasn't got access to clean water, she's definitely not watching the What's Happening podcast.
Fuck off, Sarah.
Fat, smelly cunt. And on that note, I think we'll draw it to a close. Thanks for watching again.
Thank
It's been
you.
an absolute pleasure. Thanks to Gary for coming down and producing
Gary.
it. Thanks to everybody who watched the last one as well. If you haven't watched the last one, I'll put a little link to the first episode down in the description. We talked a lot less about paedophiles in that one.
It's more light-hearted.
It was a little bit more light-hearted. But nonetheless, thanks for watching this one. If you haven't watched the last one, there'll be a link. And we will see you in the next one.
Bip.
Ta-da.